Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Prince makes excuses to Zoe after spending the night at Dilly's. Zoe then surprises Prince by booking an appointment for them at the registry office for that day. However, her actions seem suspicious. Could she have uncovered Prince's betrayal, and is she now planning to humiliate him? Dilly is unsettled when she learns about Prince and Zoe's big plans for the day. Sienna confronts Dilly for potentially breaking up a family with her antics, which leads to a row and some harsh comments. As things get out of hand, Sienna lets slip that she killed Ethan, causing Dilly to rush off. Dilly decides that she's had enough of the Blake family, so she packs her bags and prepares to leave. Beforehand, Dilly tips off Jez that Sienna confessed to Ethan's murder. Meanwhile, JJ's trial begins and Frankie bravely gives evidence in court. She details the disturbing abuse that JJ put her through and why she felt safe enough to reveal the truth to Darren. Darren, Nancy and Jack also give evidence at the trial. The village of Hollyoaks buzzed with the usual chaos and intrigue that seemed to define its everyday. But for Sienna Blake, this was no ordinary day. She had carried a heavy secret for weeks now, a truth that had slowly begun to suffocate her. And today she knew she could no longer keep it to herself. She had to tell Dilly. Dilly Harcourt, ever the enigmatic and carefree soul, had become a surprising constant in Sienna's tumultuous life. Their dynamic was a peculiar one, a mix of mutual fascination and friction that teetered on the edge of something deeper. Yet Dilly had a knack for cutting through Sienna's well-practiced facade, and that scared her more than she cared to admit. The confession weighed heavily on Sienna as she made her way to the dog in the pond. She had asked Dilly to meet her there, choosing the familiar pub as neutral ground. The scent of freshly poured ale and the hum of village chatter greeted her as she pushed open the door. Her eyes scanned the room until they landed on Dilly, perched on a bar stool, a mischievous grin playing on her lips, as she flirted effortlessly with a bemused bartender. Sienna hesitated for a moment, steeling herself before crossing the room. "Dilly," she called, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. Dilly turned, her grin widening at the sight of Sienna. "Well, if it isn't the ever-elusive Ms. Blake," she teased. "To what do I owe the pleasure?" Sienna gestured towards a quieter corner of the pub. "We need to talk, somewhere private." Dilly raised an eyebrow, intrigued but unfazed. "Sounds serious, lead the way." They settled into a booth, the noise of the pub fading into the background. Sienna took a deep breath, her hands fidgeting with the edge of her sleeve. Dilly's playful demeanor softened as she leaned forward, sensing the gravity of the moment. "What's going on, Sienna?" Dilly asked, her voice uncharacteristically gentle. Sienna's gaze dropped to the table. She'd rehearsed this moment 100 times, but now that it was here, the words felt trapped in her throat. Finally, she looked up, meeting Dilly's curious eyes. "I've done something," Sienna began, her voice barely above a whisper, "something I'm not proud of." Dilly tilted her head, her curiosity piqued. "Go on." "It's about the Harcourt estate," Sienna admitted, her heart pounding. "And your family." Dilly's playful smirk disappeared, replaced by a guarded expression. "What about my family?" Sienna hesitated, the weight of her confession threatening to crush her. But there was no turning back now. I found something out. Something that could change everything for you." Dilly's eyes narrowed. "Spit it out, Sienna." Sienna swallowed hard. "Your family's fortune, it's not what it seems. There are irregularities. Things that have been hidden, and I might have uncovered some of them." Dilly leaned back, her expression unreadable. "Uncovered? As in, you went digging?" "Not intentionally," Sienna said quickly. "I stumbled across something while working on another matter. But once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it." Dilly's gaze bore into Sienna, her usual lightheartedness replaced by a piercing intensity. "And what exactly did you find?" Sienna hesitated, her hands trembling. "There's a trust fund. One that shouldn't exist. It's been funneled away for years, and it's linked to your father. I think he's been hiding assets. Dilly's jaw tightened, her eyes darkening. Are you accusing my father of embezzlement? I'm not accusing anyone, Sienna said quickly. I'm just telling you what I found. And there's more. Dilly's lips pressed into a thin line. More. Sienna nodded, her voice trembling. There's a connection to someone in the village. Someone who isn't who they claim to be. Dilly's eyes narrowed. Who? Sienna hesitated, her heart racing. Ethan. The name hung in the air like a thunderclap. Dilly's expression shifted, a mix of shock and disbelief flashing across her face. Ethan? She repeated, her voice laced with incredulity. What does he have to do with this? He's been working with your father, Sienna revealed. I don't know the full extent of it, but he's involved in whatever's happening with the trust fund. Dilly's hands clenched into fists on the table. You're telling me that my father and Ethan are colluding? And you just happened to uncover this? Yes, Sienna said, her voice firm despite her fear. And I needed to tell you because you deserve to know the truth, even if it's messy, even if it hurts. Dilly leaned back, her expression unreadable as she processed Sienna's words. The silence stretched between them, heavy and suffocating. Finally, Dilly spoke, her voice low and measured. Why are you telling me this now? She asked. What's in it for you, Sienna? Sienna's eyes filled with tears, her vulnerability laid bare. Because I care about you, Dilly, more than I should. And I couldn't live with myself if I kept this from you. Dilly's expression softened, the tension in her shoulders easing slightly. You care about me? Sienna nodded, a single tear slipping down her cheek. Yes, I do. And that's why I'm here, telling you the truth, even if it costs me everything. Dilly studied her for a long moment before a faint smile tugged at the corners of her lips. You're full of surprises, Sienna Blake. Sienna let out a shaky laugh, relief washing over her. That's one way to put it. Dilly reached across the table, her hand covering Sienna's. Thank you for telling me. I don't know what I'm going to do with this information yet, but I'm glad you told me. Sienna nodded, a tentative smile breaking through her tears. You're stronger than you realize, Dilly. Whatever happens next, you'll get through it. I know you will. Dilly squeezed her hand, a newfound determination in her eyes. And so will you, Sienna. We'll figure this out. Together. As they sat there, their hands entwined, the weight of the confession began to lift. The road ahead would be messy and fraught with challenges. But for the first time in a long time, Sienna felt a glimmer of hope. Together, they could face whatever came next. And maybe, just maybe, they could find a way to heal. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Hollyoaks Update YouTube channel for more update news.